officially started our intermediate section, and we are starting it off with the download of the virtual machine called Metasploitable. Now, as you can see, I am downloading it right now from the Rapid7 website. Now, it might ask you, let me just show you. If you go and type here in your Google search bar, if you type here Metasploitable and click on the first link, it will ask you before you can download the Metasploitable to make an account. So basically, in order to submit, you need to submit some of these informations in order to download the Metasploitable from the Rapid7 website. Now, if you do not want to specify any information, you can just go onto some other website, which is basically, I just clicked on this one, and you can download it from here. So you just click here on download, and in a few seconds your download will start. Now, the Metasploitable zip file is around 800 megabytes large. Let me just close this one, since I don't need to download it 2 times. As you can see, I am here already downloading it. So we will wait until that finishes, and then we will build the virtual machine into our VirtualBox. Now, if you are asking what is Metasploitable, well, basically the Metasploitable is an intentionally vulnerable virtual machine which we will use in order to test our further attacks and scans. Now, we use this machine because scanning any website you do not have permission to scan can be illegal and you shouldn't be doing it. So this is also a dangerous machine, so you shouldn't expose it to any network you do not trust. For example, you should only keep it over net or host only. Don't connect it to a bridge adapter and connect it to a local network, since it is purposely made vulnerable and there is a bunch of holes in this machine. Now, we will not be explaining all of the vulnerabilities that this machine has, but we will cover some of them. And basically, I will just wait for this to finish, and once it finishes, I will show you how to install the virtual machine. And my download has finished, so what you want to do right now is basically this zip file, just copy and paste it onto your desktop. So once you got it on your desktop, which is right here, what you want to do is basically extract this file. Since it is a zip file, we want to extract it. I will use WinRAR to do that. So this will take a few seconds, and after it is finished, we can proceed with the making of our Metasploitable. You will notice, once it is done, that we will get 5 files, I believe, in this folder, and we are only interested in one, which is basically the .vmdk file, which we will use as a hard disk for this virtual machine. Now, this is finished, and you can see right here, if we open it, there are 5 files, and we will use this one. I will show you right here how to put it into a virtual machine. So basically, just for the sake of the making, just click on the new virtual machine, and here you can type here any name you want. So I will just call it vulnerable, and here you want to pick as a type of operating system, you want to choose Linux. In the version type, you want to scroll down. Let me just find it, scroll down and pick other Linux. Once you have these options picked, you just click on the next option, and here we have the memory size. Now, the memory size for the Metasploitable should be at least 512 megabytes, and it will work fine on the 512, but I would advise you to, if you have the spare RAM memory, you can just put here 1 gigabyte, as it will work better, but if you do not have, you just leave it on 512 and it will also work fine. Now, keep in mind that you will be running 2 virtual machines. One is Kali Linux and one is Metasploitable once we run our tests. So be aware that you will need also RAM memory in order to run your main machine. So if you do not have enough memory, just leave here 512. Now, once you picked your memory size, just click here on Next, and under this option, you want to go to the Use an existing virtual hard disk. Here, you just want to go on the Choose a virtual hard disk file, and you basically just want to find the Metasploitable, which in my case is right here. Let me just see why it won't work. does not match the value in the media registry. What do you mean it does not match the value? Well, it doesn't even matter. There is some error for me. It doesn't really matter. I believe that is because I already have Metasploitable installed. But for you, you just find your Metasploitable VMDK file, which for me is right here, and you just click on that one, you choose it, and you shouldn't have this inaccessible, it is only for me. So once you do that, you just click here on create and you have your virtual machine made. Now, once you have this, you just basically just click on here start. Now for me, it will pop up an error, but for you, it will just start the process of installing the virtual machine, and I don't think it will ask you any questions. Only at the end, it will ask you for the username and password, which I've written it right here. The username is msfadmin and the password is also msfadmin. So once it asks you for the username and password, just type here msfadmin and you should be logged into the virtual machine, into your Metasploitable. Now keep in mind, it won't have a desktop like Windows or our Kali Linux. It will just be a command line, since it is not a GUI-made virtual machine. So you will be able to execute any commands that you execute in the Kali Linux terminal, and it is basically all of the things you will be able to do. Now we will continue with the scanning in the next lecture, where we will be using one of the most known tools in Kali Linux, which is called Nmap. I will show you a bunch of different scans you can do with it, but until then, I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you.